Well, it's a big season for the Barrow-Civic Theatre in Franklin, and we have quite a crew with us here today. Look at everybody over there. This is the cast of SpongeBob Musical?
Yes.
Oh, wait, no. That's coming up in a couple months. This is the cast, though, of Jesus Christ Superstar. Morning, guys. Good to see everybody this morning. How's everybody doing?
Good.
Let's kind of go around the table, introduce yourself. We'll start in the back.
Oh, hi, I'm Judy Millar, and I'm actually the stage director.
Taylor Nelson, I'm the choreographer.
I'm James McGinnis. I'm playing a whole host of ensemble characters.
Excellent.
I'm Joe Thompson. I'm playing the role of Pontius Pilate.
I'm Flynn Cravan. I'm playing Mary Magdalene.
Excellent. Well, good morning. This is exciting. So the production of Jesus Christ Superstar actually takes place this weekend, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
And the following.
Wow. Okay. So we'll get the specific days and times and all that here in just a little bit. We'll start in the back with Judy. When did you know you were directing this production?
Well, about a year ago, I think. I directed this in Titusville quite a long time ago, and I always knew that if it ever came up again, I wanted to direct it again because it was one of my favorites. I love rock operas, and this one was one of my father's favorites as well, and he was a minister, and he helped me with the first one. And so I felt like I just wanted to do this again. The vision's about the same as last time in my mind, but the execution is quite a bit different. We have a lot of special effects. I don't know, talent just seems to emote out of these people all night long, and it's fantastic. It's fantastic, the amount of people. So yeah, I knew quite a while ago, and I'm glad I did it.
Joe, this is your first time working with Judy, is that correct?
Yeah.
No, talk about Judy as a director, because I think, I think she's somebody who has the idea, right? This is what I'm thinking in my head, but she also looks at the talent and says, okay, now do your thing and let's see how that works.
Depending on the talent, yes. No.
Yeah.
No, she's
like a lot of work with you.
She's wonderful to work with in that way because there are people Judy knows what people's limitations are or breadth is, and so there are people she'll be like, do this here, do this here, do this here, and then other people here she's like, the stage is yours, just fill it.
Like Joe.
The earth cannot contain Joe.
She just told me not to chew the scenery up. That's
Right.
That's expensive sets. Taylor, for you, talk about your role in the production.
Well, I choreographed. I don't know. People say that this isn't a very dance-heavy show, but Judy wanted it to be dance-heavy, so people like Flynn and James here are changing their costumes a million times and dancing a whole bunch. It was really fun. It was different. I choreographed this one instead of normal, look at me, dancing to the audience. There's a lot of just movement around the stage, but it's still big and super fun. I'm excited.
So is that sort of an example of what Joe was saying, or Judy, where you saw, okay, well, Taylor has this talent. How do we use that? How can we incorporate that into this show?
Well, this is my third show with Taylor now, and I'm not sure I would want to do another one without her. Taylor has a way of making a dance, people who can't maybe dance really well, but she has a way of making them look like they're doing fantastic things. The great dancers, she has them out there showcasing, and the ones who, are a little bit hesitant or don't want to, she pulls it out of them, and it looks like they're doing great things with her choreography, because there's something about Taylor's choreography that just makes the show shine.
Flynn, for you, when was that moment you said, okay, this is a show I want to do or be involved with?
I take voice lessons at Roxado in town, and a year ago, Amy had me sing the song "I Don't Know How to Love Him," which is from the show.
Great song.
And it's Mary's song, and I was like, oh, I like this song. This is a good song. And then, a year later, Amy was like, they're doing Jesus Christ Superstar at the Barrow, so I think you should audition. And I was like, well, I have track. But then I was like, I don't need to do track. I'll just do the show. So I quit track and I auditioned for the show. Because I just liked that song. I didn't know anything about the show other than that one song.
Well, not to get Maury Povich-like, but we do have your track coach right here. No. I like the reaction, James. That was good. James, for you, when did you say, boy, I want to get involved in this?
I mean, as soon as I heard Judy was directing,
Yeah,
honestly.
okay.
I've always
No, wait a
loved
second.
the
Wait a
show.
second. Did you hear she was directing and you said, okay, I want to get involved? Or did she call you and say, hey, I think you should audition?
I heard through Taylor.
Okay. Oh, okay. Joe, when you get that call and, Judy's going to be involved, it's probably hard to say no because, everybody's got a lot going on right now with life and work. And it takes a lot of time and work to do a show and make it really good. So, you have to put that effort into it. Is that hard or is it easy to say, okay, I'll do it?
This one was I knew I wanted to do this show like 28 years ago, and this role specifically, and then add the fact that Judy and Taylor were the artistic staff. It was pretty much I was like I'll make the time. Because I've loved this show since I first heard it, and then this is the role I've wanted to do in this show since day one.
Have you ever done this production before?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Judy, you hear all the time the Barrow-Civic Theatre is such a community gem in Franklin. Brings people in from all over. What does that mean for you to be part of this legacy?
Oh, well, I did my first show, not at the Barrow, but with Franklin Civic in 1976. And then I left, of course, to move to California for a while. But as soon as I came back, I started getting involved again. They bring so much art to that area. And I think that that the theater really is a gathering place, a community. And when I was telling people I was directing the show, I had no idea how much this show meant to so many people in this area. And, I'm looking at ticket sales and I'm getting blown away here. Our first weekend looks so good. So, but there are still seats available. So you need to get in there and get your tickets as soon as you can. But I'm so proud of Franklin and the work that they do. And Titusville, too. I worked for Titusville here with their summer theater program, and it has grown even since I've been there. It is growing. I see all these workshops that they're putting on and all these little performances here and there, and I'm just thrilled. I'm so proud of the fact that the young people are coming in and helping to build their theater as well. And they're not afraid to leave Titusville and go to Franklin, and then the Franklin people come to Titusville, and I think that sense of community and family is so important in the theater and in our world.
And in Meadville has the Academy Theater, and you look
absolutely.
at Erie and all the theater outlets you have up there to be involved. You mentioned you've directed the show before. Did you kind of revisit those notes, or did you throw everything out the window and say, I'm going to kind of start from scratch on this?
I actually did revisit them to a certain extent. My scenery is similar, but I have a tech director who, I give him my vision and he builds it. And so he embellished it a bit. It's a very simple set. Everything is simple. And I did that the last time because I think in this particular story, when we're telling this story, it's more about the actors than it is about the scenery. The scenery is just a vessel for them to come out and perform.
That's right. I was watching something recently, and I was focused on the set design more than the acting, and I was like, because it was a really cool set. I'm like, I wonder how they did that. But yeah, probably should have been focused on the.
Well, normally, and that's what's strange because like Elf, when I did Elf and Something Rotten, we really did go all out on the set. But this one, I just wanted it to be more simple. I just needed it to be more simple because the story is so powerful, and I want everybody to not miss a thing by looking at the scenery.
Taylor, when you have a set design like that probably provides room and space. Does that give you more to play with?
Yeah, and I like, especially Judy likes levels, and I like having the
So does
ability to
Kramer.
have people.
Kramer had levels in his apartment.
I
Levels,
like
Jerry,
having-
levels.
I like having levels for dancers to dance up high and down low and give it more texture. And
How do you
I
begin
love
your
a simple-
process? Do you listen to the music? Do you have conversations with Judy? Or where do you start?
It depends. Judy will sometimes tell me what she wants. Sometimes she's like, just go for it, do whatever you want.
And she never does anything I don't like. That's just the magic of this. You know, I just know she'll say, well, I really hope you're going to like this. And of course, I love it.
But yeah, I listen to the music. I honestly choreograph a lot in the car.
So be
Listen to the
careful.
music over and over and over. Well, no, just listen to the music and then I'll just scribble a combo down and it just gets the whole number rolling. And
I usually ask the actors, like, do you go back and watch the movie, the shows, anything like that to draw inspiration? Do you do that at all, or do you try to just focus on what's going on in your mind?
it depends. I didn't know, like I knew the story, but I didn't know the show. So when she asked me to do the show, I watched the movie and then watched a couple of the shows just to get the story. But it depends. I try not to watch other things because then I tend to remember that and use that for mine.
Yeah. James, for you, how do you build your character? Is it, again, kind of the same question? Do you go back and watch other performances, or do you kind of figure out what you want to do with the character?
I think it depends a lot on the character and on the show. Like, for this one, I mean, we have a pretty popular book that this one's based on. So, going back and reading the Bible a bit and doing some different readings and watching documentaries and stuff was sort of how I got into it. Like, Judy gave all the apostles different names, and I'm doubting Thomas, so that kind of gave me a basis to build a character, I felt like.
Do you enjoy that aspect of it, the research?
Yeah, I'm an English scholar, so it's kind of bread and butter.
Yeah, excellent. Joe, for you, you've been eyeing this role for decades, maybe? Mm-hmm. Now you get to play this part. So how do you work, this whole time thinking about this character, this show, into your performance?
What I find so compelling, this is, I think, the reason I really wanted to play this role. There's such a dichotomy that exists in Pilate in this incarnation, and he's a proxy governor in an unoccupied territory, representing Rome. And you could just play him off as just like ugh. But he and while that exists, his heart is touched by this man, and so there's a struggle to save his life, and because he's had this dream that if he doesn't, his name will go down in history as on the mouths of everyone as the bad guy, and so he wants to save Jesus while he's trying to save himself. So it's a real passionate struggle that he has in his mind, and the challenge is like, how do you bring that to life without like I said before, gnawing the scenery apart, and,
Yeah. Flynn, for you, what sort of research did you do for your character?
I sort of had a little bit of trouble with this character because Mary's a lot older than 17, which is how old I am. But I remember on one of our first days of rehearsal, I was talking to Judy, and she was like, you just need to read the book. And I was like, there's a book? And she was like, yeah, it's called the Bible. And I was like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. So I read some of the Gospels. And I also have this form that I fill out. It's just like a Google form, and I put questions in there. And it's like a character analysis, and you answer questions about your character as if like you answer them as your character. But sometimes they're questions that like aren't in the show, like you can't find them. You just have to like be in your character so much that you have to figure it out on your own, and that helps a lot.
What was the sort of the biggest takeaway doing this research?
It was really about the same thing with Joe is Mary has sort of this dichotomy because she has this troubled past, I guess you could say, where she was very sinful, and then she's found Jesus and she started following him, and she doesn't really know how that works for her, and she's confused. She's really confused.
Did you go back and watch the movie, or?
I watched some videos on YouTube of other people, older people, playing the role or like singing her songs. I never watched the full movie because I didn't want to like tarnish my vision of it myself,
Yeah.
so that it could still be original. Yeah.
Judy, what's that experience like? Working with the actors and kind of letting them explore, letting them get to that place that you want them to be at, and that they want to get to.
Oh, it's fantastic. From the first day that you cast somebody, you have the vision in your brain of what, or in your mind of what you think that they're going to look like when it's over, and then as they evolve, and work with them. But I also want to say here that I'm working with a music director, Pete Green, and I have worked with Pete Green as a director. He was my director when I was on stage, Wizard of Oz, Annie, several different things, but I've never had the chance to work side by side with him. And he has a way of talking to people, because I know that he spent a little bit of time with Mary, or with Flynn as well. And I am sometimes
Never
in
gets
awe.
out of character, does he?
Right. In awe of the way he can help somebody find a character as well. Sometimes I don't think that's my strongest suit, is helping people through their character. But I've learned a lot. Just I started directing 40 years ago this year, and I've worked with the method acting, and I've worked with all of those kinds of things, and I don't teach it, and I don't try and have my actors do that. But I learned a lot from Pete this year, just watching him help me find because these are such complex characters that it takes a team to make this happen, and he's helped me. So I do want to shout out to Pete, because he's been a godsend to me during this, if I can say that.
Let's do this real quick. You're watching the Morning Drill on Stream Television and on Armstrong's Neighborhood Channel. Jesus Christ Superstar this weekend, next weekend. We'll talk specific dates here and times in just a moment, and tickets where folks can get them. Taylor, that has to be fascinating for you, because you're watching the characters the actors find their characters, right? And you're also incorporating the music and then dancing. So how does all of that play? That's got to be challenging, but probably fun for you. You keep coming back.
Yeah, it's really fun, and I like the leads have names, they have name roles, they have their character defined, but it's also fun to watch the ensemble and some of the dancers who show up to the first rehearsal and they're super quiet, they're just there to have a little bit of fun, and then to see them grow. Like, I've had some students, for example, that are ensemble people, and then they fall in love with it, whether it's through dancing or the acting or the singing, and then they just grow up and grow into a lead and fall in love with theater. So it's fun watching. And the ensemble's kind of my baby, but...
So, Flynn, you may be 17 now, but by the time the show's over, you'll be 45, so don't worry. You'll grow up fast. Cast and crew, how many people are involved in the production?
27.
Cast and crew, we have 33 in the cast.
Oh, wow.
And then a crew of probably 10, so yeah.
Fantastic.
It's a big group. It takes a village.
Tickets, they're selling quickly.
They are. This Sunday's matinee is really selling very quickly, but that doesn't mean there aren't seats. And every seat in the Barrow is a good seat. I mean, no matter how far back you are, we have sound, we have microphones, you can hear everything, you can see everything. So yeah, still get your tickets. You can go online. I would call the theater. The box office is open from 10 to 2 every day, and they're waiting to sell tickets. And if you go online and look at the seats, you can pick your seats, and then you can call, and then they'll have your tickets waiting for you when you get there, to avoid standing in line.
So April 26th, 27th, May 3rd and 4th at 7:30, April 28th and May 5th at 2 p.m.
Yes.
It's kind of neat. There's also a rating for each show. Did you know that Jesus Christ Superstar is rated PG, and so is the SpongeBob musical? You would think that would be rated like G.
You would think. No.
I mean, the TV show isn't rated G.
That's true. That's true. So again, show times 7:30 on the 26th, 27th, May 3rd and 4th at 2 on April 28th and May 5th. So call, get your tickets, get them online too. Is what you said? Okay. You can get your tickets online, and very exciting. Ticket prices range $16 to $22, and you're going to see a great show. I mentioned just the iconic Barrow-Civic Theatre. It's such a great asset to our region. You talk to hospitals and different industries, and that's one of the selling points when it comes to recruitment and the level of talent. I've heard stories even recently where new doctor and wife come into town. They go to a show thinking that the actors are from a major city and that they bring them in, and they're told no, these are all local people. It's incredible what you folks do.
It is
and
incredible.
Isn't it
incredible.
collectively?
the
Isn't it
talent.
funny?
Yeah. Hey, well, but Joe, James, and you can chime in on this. Just being involved in these productions and meeting. I'm sure there's a production you get involved with, and you go, "Boy, I've never met this person, but man, are they talented."
Yeah, absolutely. Every time. Every single time.
It was like that a lot for me because this is my first show I've ever done outside of Titusville and at the Barrow.
Is it?
Yeah. So I met so many people, like Jeff Brown. I'd never met him before, and he's playing Judas, and he's so good.
So what was it like for you to step out on that stage, and you look out and see the whole theater?
It was a lot, actually, because it's a lot bigger than our auditorium, and the stage is bigger, and there's not a lot of younger people in the cast. It's mostly adults who are a lot older than me, so I was like a little nervous, but everyone's been so nice and everyone's so talented. It's a great experience.
Excellent. Hey, break a leg, have fun.
And thank
This
you for
weekend,
having
next
us
weekend.
on.
Thank you, Lou.
Anytime. All the best.